So hey guys, I'm live. Um, I'd like to do a lesson on Black Star and Far Beyond the Sun by YNGWIE MALMSTEEN. If you're interested, watch. If you're not, don't listen. Whatever. I'm going to start with acoustic because he starts the intro and Black Star is on acoustic. So I've got electric here for the electric parts, and I like to go over this with you guys. Okay. So and I'll comment as I go, I think. Black Star is in E minor. Okay. Now he starts with a B major, and that's the dominant chord in E. B is the fifth letter in E. E, F, G, A, B. So start with a B major, and then go to an A minor. That's a 5-1 dominant to tonic in minor. The tonic is either, the dominant is either major or dominant, and the tonic is minor because it's a minor key. So B major to A minor. That's just a lick. That's just a melody in E minor. That's a B major with like a spined fourth. Then A major. Now, A major has a sharp, an augmented fourth, sus sharp 4. So it's a Lydian chord. If you have B major and A major and E minor, you have a E melodic minor scale. It's based on that. So the B is the dominant. It's major. The 4 chord is A major with a sharp 4 sus sharp 4, or maybe it's just a melody note. So there's that. So it's I almost dropped my pick in my guitar. That's the A major, and then it's an E minor with a G in the bass. Sounds good. You could have gone like that, but it sounds good. It's called first inversion if the third is in the bass. That's just a minor lick. So it's this is a fingering of E major. It's got the third in the bass, so it's a first inversion, and it's got no notes on the 4th string and the 5th string, just the high top 3 and the bottom, which is the 3rd. So it's now that major chord is going to lead somewhere. It's going to lead an E major chord is going to lead, in this case, to an A minor. A is the 4 chord, which was major here, but now it's minor. So that implies a harmonic minor scale. The 4 chord can be minor or major in classical music, because if it's a 4 chord is major, then it's a melodic minor scale. If it's a 4 chord is minor, it's a harmonic minor scale, providing that in both cases the dominant chord is major. If the dominant chord is minor, then you just have a natural minor scale, which isn't really used all that much because it sounds so much like Aeolian motive major scale. It doesn't have enough minor punch to it. So, and then the A minor, and then A minor. That's an F sharp major with the 3rd in the bass. The 3rd would be then A sharp. That's going to go somewhere. Let's see. Now, rather than go right to a chord, he does a melody. Now that's a melody that implies kind of a B major type of thing, because B is dominant in E minor. But if the dominant in E minor is B, then you can have a dominant of the dominant, which in this case would be F sharp. F sharp is the 2 chord in E minor, but it's the 5 chord if you started it on B. And the F sharp major to B major is a 2 of 2. No, a 5 of 5 to 5, or 2-5. The 2 is here. F sharp major is a secondary dominant because you're tonicizing the B, even though it's the song is in E minor. You're tonicizing the B major. So it's like you're making B major the temporary key, but you're really not. You're still in E minor. So, and and then it's back to E minor, because and that's a 5-1, because now the B major goes to E minor, and then it's the melodic minor scale comes out again, because you're playing, you go B major, E major, B major, and those three chords make an E melodic minor scale. If you're in E minor and you play E minor with B major and A major, that means the 4 chord and the 5 chord are both major, then you have an E melodic minor scale. And then just some harmonics on the 7th fret, and then so it's so that's the intro, the Black Star. Okay, that's the acoustic part. It starts Black Star. And explanation. Who cares what the notes are if you don't understand what you're doing and why they're doing it and what key you're in and all that? You got to know. Well, you don't got to do anything. You don't have to play guitar, but if you do, it's good to know what you're doing. So let's see if I can get a good angle here. Is that good? You can see the whole guitar and everything. Yeah, okay. It's electric now. Now for the electric parts, you're going to play. Let's give it up a little bit. A minor, then it's a C major over E. I think that makes it a first inversion of C major. Tapping wise, it would be the old lick, Van Halen lick, what Randy Rhoads lick, whatever lick. And it's just freeform jam, you know. Solo in E harmonic minor. What's the rhetoric? What? I think the rhetoric on it doesn't want to work. There we go. It's just you know, solo jamming in E harmonic minor. Then he has an A minor part. It goes A minor, F major, and that you just use A harmonic minor there, or A natural minor if you want to. And then it just ends the song as a fadeaway. Nice jam, nice way to show off your technique. Harmonic minor, I'll go over some of that. You got 7 positions of 3 notes per string, and they have the augmented second involved. So I'll go over those positions with you guys. Because what good is it to say jam if I don't say how you're supposed to jam, right? Position number 1, if you want to call it that. This position number 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. And the beginning. Know all those, and know linearly too. That's it on high E string. 5th mode would be Phrygian. It would be B Phrygian. B string there. 4th mode is Lydian, would be A Dorian sharp 4. I like the scale. And back to E harmonic minor. So forth. So there's that. Now, Far Beyond the Sun, that's the cool thing. If it were just Black Star, it would be like, okay, you can shred, but how about Far Beyond the Sun? It's really cool. I like that song. I like Black Star too, but Far Beyond the Sun is an awesome song. So it goes like this. Oh, you know. Let me tune up. So it's an F sharp minor. It's the start. It is. F sharp minor, on the 2nd fret position. That's that major chord with the 3rd in the bass that I've told you guys about before. This is, in this case, it's a C sharp major with an E sharp in the bass. C sharp major is the 5th, is the dominant of F sharp minor, because you have F, G, A, B, C, they're both sharp. So F sharp minor, the 5th, the dominant is C sharp major, and so C sharp major to F minor is 5-1 minor, or backwards, minor to 5-5. And then he goes, let's see, what does he do here? He goes like this. He goes. That's a tricky little thing. He goes. Wait. Yeah, make that major. Okay. Yeah, it could be major or minor B major, but it sets up. It goes to B from the one of these again. It's an F sharp major with a third in the bass, which in this case would be A sharp. But before that, there's a 5 of B is the 5, F sharp is the 5 of 5, because it's F sharp to B, as if B were the 5 and as if F sharp were the 5 and B was the 1. So that your second to last chord before it would be F sharp with A in the bass. I'm going to go to B minor. That's cool. You're actually in B minor there for a second, aren't you? But before the F sharp with the A sharp in the bass, you play this thing. What's that? What the hell is that? Well, that is a 5 of 5 for the B minor, because if the 5 of B minor is F sharp, the 5 of 5 is C sharp, and I'm playing the C sharp would be major, but if I made it dominant, it would have a E sharp diminished seventh, because that's the nature of dominant chords. They have a major third, minor third, and sometimes minor third. And then if you start on the major third interval, you just have a diminished seventh. So if I have a G sharp with a C sharp with an E sharp diminished seventh, then that E sharp diminished seventh is going to come before the F sharp major chord. And E sharp is just F, but it's a half step below F sharp either way. So an E sharp diminished chord would be this thing. So it's an E sharp diminished, which implies 5 of 5 of 5 in F sharp minor. No, the B is 4. I was thinking E. B is the 4 chord in F sharp. Okay, so that's why it's minor. It's minor because the 4 chord is minor. In F sharp harmonic minor, the 4 chord is B, and the B is minor. But you set that up with a F sharp major with A sharp in the bass, which you set that up with a E sharp diminished seventh or diminished, which implies the C sharp dominant that comes before the F sharp dominant that comes before the B minor, which is the 4 chord in F sharp, which is minor, which is the key of the song. So I'm going. Okay, so I went F sharp minor, C sharp major, F sharp minor, E sharp diminished, F sharp major, B minor. Beautiful. One of the hardest things in the whole song, even though it's just a couple seconds worth of music. E sharp diminished, which implies C sharp major, to F sharp major with A sharp in the bass, B minor, which is the 4 chord, and F sharp minor. Now he does a circle fit fourths thing. It's a common thing in minor keys. Well, you start with a minor key, let's say F sharp minor, play the 4, then you go up to a fourth to the E major, A major, D major, C sharp diminished, C sharp major, back to F sharp minor. So he does that. So it's I'll do it again. Something like that. In this case, he does that once. And that circle fourths thing, start with F minor. You can play it up here too. Then you go to the 4 minor, then the flat 7 major, then the I think would be the 3 flat 3 major, then the flat 6 major. Then you go to the supertonic or 2 diminished. In this case, he plays minor 7 flat 5, which is a half diminished chord. It's a Locrian mode based on if the F sharp is the minor, then G sharp is the minor 7 flat 5, like the Locrian. It's actually the diminished chord to A major, because in A major you have a G sharp minor 7 flat 5. If it were F minor, you would have a E sharp diminished seventh, which would look like this. I think it would look like this. So the diminished seventh on the leading tone diminished seventh arpeggio is for harmonic minor. The leading tone half diminished or minor 7 flat 5 is for the major usually. So I'm actually playing, by playing G sharp minor 7 flat 5, I'm actually alluding to A major more than as much as I am to F minor, F sharp minor, but they're relative minor major keys, so they fit. Then it's to the C sharp major, then back to F sharp minor, C sharp, F sharp minor. So it's that's the intro. And now he's playing notes, I don't know. Playing something in F sharp minor. You can learn that. It's easy. But sorry. Whatever. You can learn the notes. It's just an F sharp minor lick, that goes over those chords. If you know those chords, just play a. Anyway, then it does a thing where it's going to go. He's going to. It's an F sharp minor with half steps below each note. So F sharp, you have half step below that. A, half step below that. C sharp, half step below that. Another octave up here. And then the harmony for that is basically simple. It's just an old something like that. F sharp minor, E major, D major, and then maybe C sharp major. Oh, sorry. Oh, wait! I forgot one thing. Before I do that, I forgot the little intro. After I do this other intro, this thing I did right here, this whole thing right here. Before I do that part, there's a little lead intro. It goes like this. It goes, and then he goes. Or actually, it's like this. So that's important. It's just C sharp major to F minor with a harmonic minor lick. Then C sharp major, I'm going to play that way. Oh, sorry. that's a that is a G sharp diminished seventh lick. Which is the leading tone diminished seventh chord in F sharp minor. Minor, diminished. So, oh, sorry. And then back to that lick. So it's sorry. Intro. It doesn't happen again in the whole song, but that's a good way to start it. Then he goes, and that's this part. Oh, wait. And that's for this part. And then he goes, then he does a lick where he goes after this. Then he does a fast lick. Wait, sorry, on F sharp, right? Okay, like this. Wait. Like this. Yeah, there's that lick. That's along with this chord. So there's that. That goes along with it's a F sharp minor, E major, C, D major to C sharp major lick. It's alien harmonic minor lick. 1 minor. Flat 7 major, flat 6 major to 5 major. Then he does something cool. He does a thing where he's in again, we're in F sharp minor. And the chords are going to be this. It's going to be that's the chords. And the melody is oh, then it's like, okay. So the chords of that are the 4 minor, which is B, the E major with a G sharp. It's the flat 7 major chord in F sharp minor. Then it's F sharp minor, E major with the G sharp in the bass, A major, which is the flat 3 major degree of F sharp minor. So it's E minor, E with a G sharp. I mean E with the G sharp in the bass, and then F minor, E, A major, and then it's E minor, E major, F sharp minor. So it's Something like that. And that's a cool part. And then he just gets into jamming in F sharp harmonic minor. A lot of the, typical. Why is this working? Typical F sharp. And he's doing a lot of shredding in F sharp minor. Let's see, let's do this. Let me get more distortion here for me. And the redder, I hope the redder didn't break. That's cool jamming, a lot of sometimes he'll do a diminished seven. There we go. So it's like anyway, and then a lot of scalar stuff. And then it repeats some of those parts again at certain times. Oh, and then there's one other part I didn't mention, which I should mention. It's the part that he does over the. It's the part that he does over the one of the main melodies in the song. That part, that first part is basically simple. It's just that kind of thing. So that for that part, it's this melody. And then he does the cool part. I'll do the melody first. I guess that. Sorry. Just again. Okay. chords to that are really cool. It's again that whole thing. We have a C sharp major with E sharp in the bass to F sharp minor, and then it's E major, which is the flat 7 major chord, and then A major, which is the flat 3 major chord in F sharp minor, and then he does an F sharp major with A sharp in the bass, and then again a B minor, which we've seen that before. It's the F sharp major to B minor. B is the 4 chord. F sharp major is the actually it's the same root as the 1 chord, isn't it? It's in F sharp minor, but the F sharp becomes major because you're tonicizing the 4 chord, which is B minor, which has to have a major dominant, which that's the root, that's the tonic in F sharp minor. So you're changing from F sharp minor to F sharp major, or F sharp dominant 7th, or F sharp major in this case, to the B minor. And then it's just E major, A major, D major, and then a cool thing. I think it slips by a lot of people. I don't think people. I mean, it's a cool thing here. This is first thing saying that. So it's the C sharp minor. I mean C sharp major to F sharp minor, and then E major is the E major to A major to B minor, and then A major, A major, D major. Now D major is the flat 6 in F sharp minor. So I'm going to end up going to the C sharp major, which is the 5, or the dominant chord. But how do I get there? I don't just go like that. I go to another chord first. And I could go to B major, but it sounds too straightforward. So let's make it weirder. So I'm on D major, which is the flat 6 chord. And then I go to D sharp diminished. Or it could be D sharp diminished 7. But I'll just say D sharp diminished, and then back to C sharp major. So it's this probably goes. That's all. You got all that is important to know, not just important to get that melody, but what's going on behind it and why you can make that your own music. So let's hum it while I do the whole thing. See, it's the genius of the chords that go behind it, and the tonality is implied, not just, wow, he played those notes, I can do that too. See, it's let's do it once again. So I love this thing. Goof, sorry. Okay, try it again. Oh, a lot to handle. And then he just picks those parts over and over, different places and times, and shredding, certain times. And then scale stuff. And then he does something cool. It has a the solo section comes up. It's time for the solo now. So solos are fun. He starts in going to C sharp Phrygian dominant. Guitar solo. C sharp Phrygian dominant is the same notes as F sharp harmonic minor. It's just the 5th mode of it. The 5th mode of F sharp harmonic minor is C sharp Phrygian dominant. So you're playing C sharp Phrygian dominant. For that, play Phrygian lick. Or alternatively, F sharp harmonic minor lick. And then for the keyboard solo, or at least one of the keyboard solos, he goes up to D sharp Phrygian dominant, which implies G sharp harmonic minor. So for that, play your D sharp Phrygian dominant. Wait, let me see. That would be G sharp. Yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah. Keyboard double in that. And then he goes to G sharp Phrygian dominant, which implies C sharp harmonic minor. And they trade off those there. Sometimes guitar, sometimes it's keyboard. Keyboard and guitar trade off, and then it suddenly switches to the key of C sharp harmonic minor, or C sharp minor. And then it solos in that C sharp minor, C sharp harmonic minor stuff, and then he does a part that I think is cool, where he goes like he'll go let go. It's like playing with the C sharp minor, D major, A major, lick, and then he'll go to G sharp major, which is the dominant chord in C sharp minor. Then you maybe do some and then back to the C sharp thing. Maybe diminished thing there. Then he does a really cool thing I really like in the whole song. I love this. He goes to G diminished 7th, that is a 5 of 5 for the G sharp major, because G sharp major is the 5 of C sharp minor. But then you want to go, a 5 of that would be D sharp, or you could call it E flat. I'll call it E flat for now. E flat major is the 5 of the 5, which is G sharp major, which then is going to go to C sharp minor. So therefore, you'd have to have D sharp major, or it's really D sharp, but I'll call it E flat. E flat major, well, let's say D sharp. D sharp major is the 2 chord in C sharp major, which then goes up to the G sharp major, and and yet what is a D sharp major, or D sharp can be D sharp dominant 7th, and if you extend it far enough, you get the G sharp, you get a G diminished 7th. A G diminished 7th implies the D sharp 7 dominant 7th. So that tonicizes the G sharp that comes after it. So he goes all the way down to G diminished 7th as a 5, which implies D sharp major, or D sharp 7 dominant 7th, to the G sharp major, and then back to the C sharp minor licks. So it's wait, let me see. I like that. Over the G sharp diminished 7th, just play G sharp diminished 7th. So cool work there. You can always do that. C sharp minor, E major, A major, G sharp major, G diminished 7th, yeah, G sharp major. He doesn't just play the standard thing you think in heavy metal. He goes. And then it just ends on next C sharp minor. And then he does a cool thing. He goes, he's playing the C sharp stuff, and he goes with this. He goes to C sharp. Wait, C sharp. There we go. I like that lick. C sharp minor. I'm not getting very tone to that. I don't know. Okay. So he goes like this. He goes. Oh wait. It's C sharp minor, arpeggio, to a D sharp diminished 7th. Then it ends on the C sharp minor. So that's the C sharp minor to B major to E major. It's the relative major key of C sharp minor is E major, and it just ends on the E major And that's the end of the song as it trails off. But before that, he goes. That's the whole song. It was a guy's piece of rock and roll.